What's up, guys? Dr. Ryan here again with our 4th algorithm in pulmonology and our 13th overall. Thank you once more for joining me. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. We're talking to pleural effusion today. Let's imagine that there's somebody in the world that you really like. I have a cheesy pickup line for you. Ask them, are you a pleural effusion? Because I can't breathe whenever you're around. I know it's a little bit dry, huh? You can put some emoji to carry on. So a pleural effusion is defined as excessive fluid in the pleural cavity. Symptoms of pleural effusion include dyspnea, dry cough, chest pain, usually pleuritic. The physical findings of pleural effusion include decreased inspiratory expansion of the chest wall on the affected side, dullness to percussion, decreased tactile fremitus, and reduced breath sounds over the effusion. A large pleural effusion occupies about more than 25% of the hemithorax. A loculated pleural effusion does not flow freely within the pleural cavity and is best evaluated with ultrasonography or CT imaging. An empyema is defined by the presence of pus in the pleural space. Thoracocentesis is helpful in characterizing the nature of the pleural effusion, and as we know, pleural effusions can be translative or exudative based on Light's criteria. Now, to this end, I'd like to talk about P5L6, right? You take the fluid, and if you look at the protein in the fluid compared to the serum, if the ratio is above 0.5, in the protein, or the ratio in the LDH in the fluid compared to the serum is above 0.6, or the LDH in the fluid is more than 2/3 the upper limit of normal of serum LDH, then, my friend, you have an exudate. Right, so basic fluid features such as gross appearance, total and differential cell counts, protein, LDH, glucose levels, and smears and cultures are helpful in narrowing the differential diagnosis. Supplementary fluid studies like cytological examination can be helpful in certain cases. All right, treatment for pleural effusions depends on the underlying etiology. Some infectious effusions require urgent drainage. So let's get going here. On the left, as always the case, we have one etiology, on the right, the other etiology. So here we're talking to translodates, 13 causes of translodates on the left, and exudates, there's 17 causes. And you know, the whole pathophysiology behind effusions has to do with stalling forces, right? And that comes to play when you consider translodates. Is the translodate due to an increased hydrostatic pressure? Is it due to a decreased colon-oncotic pressure? Or is it a diaphragmatic etiology? Right, so under hydrostatic, increased hydrostatic pressure is congestive heart failure, constrictive pericarditis, superior vena cava syndrome, atelectasis, pneumonectomy, trapped lung syndrome. If you have a situation of decreased oncotic pressure, it means most likely you're losing albumin somewhere, right? Cirrhosis, in that the liver can't make the albumin. Nephrotic syndrome, in that you're leaking albumin into the urine. Protein losing enteropathy, leaking into the bowel, and mixed edema is the other one, which goes with hypothyroidism, right? Diaphragmatic etiologies look at hepatic hydrothorax, peritoneal dialysis, and urinothorax, okay? Under exudative causes, basically, we look at these, whether it's infectious or non-infectious. If it's infectious, you're most likely dealing with a pneumonic process. It could be tuberculosis, pleuritis, or a subphrenic abscess sitting up there. If it's non-infectious, there's a whole host of causes. Consider malignancy, pulmonary embolus, collagen vascular disease, especially SLE, right? Rheumatoid arthritis as well, very important. And the differentiating factor there is the glucose and the pH of the fluid. GI disease, hemothorax, chylothorax, don't forget, post-cardiac injury syndrome, cabbage, which is coronary artery bypass graft. Some medications can cause it, radiation, especially in patients who are getting this for malignancies, asbestosis, to take a good history, uremia goes with chronic kidney disease, even acute sometimes, Meigs syndrome and yellow nail syndrome, right? So this gives you 17 causes of exudate, 13 causes of translodate. That is a crazy 30 causes of pleural effusion. I just want to leave you with some encouragement and a scripture. So, most people think that failure is a bad thing, but actually learning from your mistakes is what is going to help you to grow, right? And you must just forget the mistake, but remember the lesson. Right? And Proverbs chapter 15 verse 1 says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. So if you have an opportunity to encourage someone or to bless someone today, I hope that you will do that and not condemn. All right? So this has been our 13th installment. I hope that you have been blessed, and we're going to continue tomorrow soldiering on to a completely different system. Yes, we're moving on to the domain of renal, otherwise called nephrology. Thank you so much for joining me. Have yourselves a fantastic day. God bless you.